It's July 1941, 2:17 in the morning in London. The air raid siren starts low, almost polite. Then it climbs louder, sharper, until the sound feels like it's cutting straight through your bones. People don't panic anymore. That part of the war is gone. Panic just wastes energy. Now they move automatically. A mother pulls a thick coat over her son's pajamas. An old man reaches for the gas mask he hopes he'll never need. Someone down the hall mutters, "Here we go, again," like it's just another patch of bad weather rolling in. But above the clouds, the bombers are already here. And this time, there are more of them. So many more, because something is different now. This isn't the history we know. In this timeline, Hitler listened. He didn't open a second front. Germany isn't bleeding its men and machines into the vast emptiness of the East. Its factories aren't starving for fuel. Its most experienced pilots aren't being reassigned to some endless Russian horizon. Instead, everything and everyone is focused on one single target. Britain. In Berlin, Hermann Göring studies the latest Luftwaffe reports with a grin he hasn't worn in months. The numbers are finally on his side. Losses are down. Aircraft availability is up. Training cycles are shorter, pumping out fresh pilots to overwhelm the RAF. The relentless math of attrition finally works in Germany's favor. He taps a folder filled with reconnaissance photos. "This," he says to his staff, "is how you crush an island. The bombing doesn't stop at night anymore. It's a 24-hour cycle of destruction. But the targets have changed. It's less about terrorizing civilians and more about systematic strangulation. Ports, rail hubs, power stations, food depots. These aren't the dramatic targets that make bold headlines. They're the necessary ones, the kind that don't create a spectacle, but slowly suffocate a country from the inside out." In Liverpool, dock workers watch in horror as entire convoys, laden with food and weapons from America, burn in the harbor before they can even unload a single crate. In Bristol, the warehouses that store the nation as dwindling supplies of grain and sugar disappear in firestorms that light up the night for miles. In the industrial Midlands, factories go dark, not from direct bomb hits, but from a simple lack of electricity, as power plants are methodically taken offline, one by one. The hum of Britain's war machine is faltering. And then there are the submarines. The U-boats are everywhere. Freed from the need to support a war in the East, Admiral Dunitz has been given everything he asked for. Wolf packs, larger and more coordinated than ever, roam the Atlantic like ghosts. One convoy after another vanishes beneath the cold, gray waves. The sailors start calling it the long scream. The horrifying sound metal makes when a torpedo hits and a ship breaks apart, groaning as it's dragged down into the abyss. The lifeline across the ocean is being severed knot by knot. By August, the effects are undeniable. Britain's food reserves are razor thin. The government introduces even harsher rationing. In a small, cold flat in Birmingham, a woman stares at her family's ration cards, the stamps already used up for the week. She looks at the empty pantry and whispers to herself, "This can't last. It just can't." That same feeling of dread has crept into the highest levels of government. In his office at 10 Downing Street, Winston Churchill stands alone at a window, a cigar clutched, unlit, in his hand. The dim light makes him look older than he is, tired in a way that powerful speeches and defiant rhetoric can no longer fix. His advisors don't sugarcoat the situation anymore. The polite optimism is gone, replaced by blunt, terrifying facts. Our shipping losses are unsustainable, Prime Minister. The Americans are sympathetic, but they are not committed. Public morale is strained. The word hangs in the air, strained, on the verge of breaking. Churchill nods slowly, his jaw set. He's heard worse news before, but never all at once, day after day, with no sign of relief. Because here is the brutal truth that no one dares to say out loud. Without an Eastern Front to bleed it dry, Germany doesn't need to rush. It can be patient, methodical. Time, which was once Britain's greatest ally, is now its most dangerous enemy. Across the Channel, the German war machine is not just maintaining its pressure, it's upgrading. Engineers are perfecting longer-range bombers capable of hitting targets anywhere in the British Isles. New, heavily fortified U-boat pens are rising along the French coast, making the submarine threat almost impossible to counter. Airfields multiply like scars across occupied Europe, each one a launch pad for the relentless aerial assault. The entire continent has been turned into a fortress pointed directly at Britain, and in the background a file that had been shelved is quietly brought back to the table. Operation Sea Lion, the plan for the invasion of Britain. It won't happen tomorrow. It won't happen next week. But it's no longer a distant threat. It's an inevitability. It's coming, soon. And everyone on both sides of the Channel knows it. In the damp, crowded air raid shelters of Britain, the conversations have changed. People don't talk about victory anymore. They talk about endurance. The question is no longer when will we win, but how long can we hold on? How long until help comes? And the most terrifying question of all, will help come at all? The famous British spirit is still there, but it's frayed, exhausted, and running on fumes. Thousands of miles away, across the Atlantic, those same questions are being asked in Washington, D.C., in the Oval Office. President Franklin D. Roosevelt listens to the crackling radio dispatches and reads the grim intelligence reports from his ambassador in London. He understands exactly what Britain is becoming, a fortress under siege, a shield that has protected America for over a year, now cracking under unbearable pressure. And he knows with chilling certainty that if that shield breaks, America will be next. It will face the storm alone. But for now, held back by a fiercely isolationist public and Congress, the United States remains officially neutral. And so, Germany keeps tightening its grip. There's no dramatic collapse, no single fatal blow like the fall of France. This is something slower, more insidious, just constant, grinding pressure, every day, every night. Pressure on the ports, on the factories, on the food supplies, on the people, until even the strongest hands begin to shake, until the will to fight on begins to flicker. And somewhere far to the east, in a quiet office in the Kremlin, Joseph Stalin watches all of this unfold with a growing, calculating interest. He sees Britain weakening. He sees Germany consolidating its power, its armies untested by the Russian winter, its resources intact. He knows that if Britain falls, the world won't just change. It will tilt on its axis. And when it does, someone will have to decide which way it falls. The fate of the world hangs in the balance, not on a battlefield, but in the quiet, desperate struggle for survival of a single, defiant island. Thanks for watching. If you found this alternate history compelling, hit that like button and subscribe for more what-if scenarios. See you next time.